Compound interest is essential to creating wealth. It's this idea of growth upon growth, and it's key to understanding investments. Warren Buffett, who's consistently ranked on that millionaire list, has this great quote where he says, "My wealth has come from a combination of living in America, some lucky genes, and compound interest." In order to better understand the idea of compound interest, I'm going to share with you guys a thought experiment. And the thought experiment just poses a simple question, which is how many times will it take to fold a piece of paper to reach the distance of the moon? So to put this in perspective, on average, a single piece of paper is approximately 0.1 millimeters thick. So right here, I have a single piece of paper. And so the idea is, how many times does it take to fold this piece of paper to get to the distance between Earth and the moon? So we fold it once, and now we're looking at 0.2 millimeters thick. To put this more in perspective, the average distance between the Earth and the moon is approximately 384,400 kilometers. So we're comparing a 0.1 millimeter paper to 384,400 kilometers. If you guessed the answer is 42, you were right. Yep, that may come kind of shocking to you. You're folding a 0.1 millimeter paper only 42 times to cover the distance of 384,400 kilometers. And that's not even the most striking part. Only 1% of the distance is covered in the first 36 folds, and the rest of the folds, those 6 folds, cover 99% of that distance. That's the beauty of compound interest. It flies under the radar at first, and then suddenly it comes up like this huge giant at the end. And this is what makes the difference of a mediocre investing strategy and a long-term future strategy that's really going to help you create and build wealth. And to put this in perspective, let's take a scenario where there's two different people, person A and person B. So both of them at the beginning of the month are given $1, and they're given a machine that doubles the amount of money they have every day. So let's take person A, for example. What they do with their money is they put it into the system and bam, $1 becomes $2. They're super happy. They take $1 and they spend it on a candy bar. So while they're eating that candy bar, we have person B who takes that $1, puts it into the system, and then gets $2. But instead of spending that $2, they instead, the following day, put those $2 back into the system to get $4, while person A just puts in that $1 again to get another dollar out. So at the end of the month, what we're looking at after 30 days is that person A has managed to buy 30 candy bars. But person B, by doubling the amount of money that they've had every day and compounding it, has managed to generate $1,073,741,824 within that month. That's the power of compound interest. It allows you to create growth upon growth to increase your wealth exponentially. Basically, what's happening with compound interest is that you're putting your money into a system that generates interest. And instead of taking out that interest that you create, you keep it in there. You keep putting it back into the system to create more and more wealth. So your goal is to be financially free, which is this idea of having enough money to live out the rest of your life without being employed or being dependent on other people. And maybe this goal is for when you're 65 and you're retiring. And while I don't adhere to that idea of waiting until you're 65 to be financially free, let's say that's your goal, that for retirement you want to be able to live off of your own money and not have to work anymore. So for this scenario, let's look at two different people. So first is person C. They're 40 years old and they're deciding to jump into the stock market. Now the stock market usually provides between 8 to 10% annual interest, especially for a long period of time. So let's say this person C, is putting in $150 a month, which is just $1,800 a year into the stock market and getting a 10% return. So from that 40 years of age to 65 years of age, they're putting in this money. And by the end of those 25 years, they're going to come out with approximately $177,000. Now let's take a look at person D. Person D is 20 years old and they have that same exact idea. So now they're putting in money into the stock market, $150 a month, the same 10% return, and now we're looking at 45 years instead of 25 years. And the amount of money that they're going to come out with for retirement is approximately $1.3 million. That makes them a millionaire. So that's the beauty of compound interest, where you can take $150 per month, which is going to be $1,800 per year. For 45 years, we're looking at $81,000. In principle, you can turn that into $1.3 million. So anyone can be able to invest and use compound interest to become a millionaire. So the key now is just finding the proper investment vehicle, whether that's the stock market or real estate or whatever it is that gives you that percent return that you're looking for, and just doing it for a long period of time can make you a millionaire. We're just looking at some time, the amount of money you're putting in, and the interest rate. And that can create wealth upon wealth upon wealth. So I hope that gave you guys something to think about. And if you're young, now is definitely the time to start investing your money into the proper channels and really creating that compound growth. If you found something valuable in this video, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. It really helps the algorithm, and I'd like to share this with as many people as possible to help more and more people. Also, please let me know in the comments below whether you like this video and if this is something you'd like to see more content of. I'd really appreciate it. See you later.